Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you" on 92? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on Mountain Perspectives. And our expanded Spanish programming block. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website, tv8vail.com.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging onto our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
Good morning, Vail.
We had a chance to sit down and chat with the founder and CEO of JB Benefits and Consulting to maybe help inspire you to take a look at what you should be doing to protect yourself. So let's hear what he has to say.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Now, our next guest is revolutionizing the landscape of business healthcare, and to tell us a little bit about all the work that he does, we have today joining us via Zoom, John Butler, CEO and founder of JB Benefits and Consulting. John, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Julio, it's great to be with you, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, the pleasure is ours, John. We were talking a little bit off camera of all the work that you do, so I'm excited to get to hear a little bit more about, this industry that you're in that I know is very complex and very complicated, but you're going to help us understand a little bit about the work that you do today. So why don't we start off? I'd love for you to introduce yourself to our communities here and tell us a little bit about JB Benefits and Consulting and the work that you do.
Well, to make it short and sweet, I grew up in Minnesota here. I joined as a securities broker in about 1988 full-time.
Mm-hmm.
I had that business going all the way up to when I sold it in 2022. Then I bought a block of employee benefits business in 1996. I built that up and I sold that last September of 2023 and to go completely independent. So my intention, like we were talking about off air, my intention was to go independent for the last 8 years. So I wanted to break away from any connection with health insurance companies, any pharmacy companies, any of the mess that's going on here, because the way that the system is set up, Julio, it's to benefit those health insurance companies, pharmacy companies, nonprofit hospitals. A lot of this is, we call it the cartel in our industry, just to be frank. But, you know, I'm a big fan of small employers and the employees of those companies. So I wrote the book, Health Insurance Sucks, which is called that because it does, first of all. But there was 3 different solutions that I had in my book that I would never have brought up to my clients, Julio, because if I would bring any of those 3 solutions up to you in the marketplace, I'd likely lose your business. So one of them is custom health plan designs, which is designed basically for pretty large companies. Another one is a way of outsourcing your benefits called a PEO, or professional employer organization. Which is, you can take all your health insurance, dental, life, disability, even workers' comp, and outsource it. Both of those solutions make sense in the marketplace. And then the last one was what I call in my book a cafeteria plan design, which I'll talk about more than anything here. But it's a way of breaking free from owning the insurance contract as an employer and allowing your employees to own their own stuff and then reimbursing them. But if you would have brought any of those up, I wasn't smart enough to offer custom health plan solutions. The PEO design, or the outsourcing benefits, I wasn't licensed to sell it. And then the cafeteria plan, if I was going to design a plan that's for all 200 of your employees, or 50 or 5, it didn't really matter. I wasn't staffed up to handle that. So if you would have mentioned any of those 3, I would have dissuaded you from any of that path whatsoever, because I wouldn't have wanted to lose your business, if that makes sense.
I love that you mention, you know, these solutions. You mentioned your book, which I actually wanted to talk about. So I love that you're bringing that up. And I also love that you're bringing up, you know, the small businesses, which are so crucial here in our mountain communities. And I know that there will be, you know, business owners tuning in. And I love that you mentioned, like I said, those solutions. But I kind of want to take a step back and maybe talk about, or from your experience, from your perspective, what's kind of that current health insurance landscape? You've been in this industry for many, many years now. Or maybe kind of what are some of those issues, or just help us understand the current landscape when it comes to business health insurance or business healthcare.
Yeah, it really comes down to rules and regulations. That's really what this whole thing is about. So if you think about it from the top down, the government sets rules for the insurance companies. The insurance company sets rules for employers. Employers, if they buy it and they own the insurance contract, have to adhere to the government and the insurance company's rules. And there's a ton of them. But all of the pricing and everything within that world of rules and regulations provides business owners, small business owners, and I'm going to be talking about mostly companies under 50, because they have the most freedom in the world right now, or in the United States. But even the healthcare bill itself that was passed way back in 2010 and rolled out in 2014 provides rules and regulations to companies over 50 in size that says, if you don't do things a certain way, we're going to penalize you, okay? So when you're under 50 in size, I think the most relevant thing that I can bring to you in the amount of time that we have here is the solution in my book that I'm most excited about around the country, called the cafeteria plan solution. I call it a cafeteria plan design because most people have been to cafeteria restaurants. I wanted to make it easy to understand. The difference between you owning the insurance contract and a cafeteria plan is that if you think about all of your employees going to lunch at a cafeteria restaurant, you're giving them money, tax-free money most of the time, for their tray, but they're picking out their own customized solutions. You know, what is their network? What is their RX plan? What are their deductibles? All of these kind of things. But what's outside the system of rules and regulations, completely inside the cafeteria plan, that most people don't know about, and actually, Julio, I'm just curious if you've heard of this before, but there's something that's been around for 30 years called health sharing. Have you heard of that before?
I have not. No. Tell me about it.
Health sharing works sufficiently the same way that health insurance works. There are people that pay into a system. The health sharing company has a huge pool of money. And then they basically say, in case there's any, basically tragedies, illnesses, or accidents, that you pay a certain amount up to a certain maximum. and then the health sharing community shares the rest.
Okay.
The health sharing community has something that's very important to consider here is it has some pre-existing condition requirements on there that you need to read through, but about 50 to 70% of America qualifies for this. It's not like big things like heart disease or cancers or strokes. So most people can get by those things because they haven't had any major things happen, okay? But let me just talk about the insurance market for a second. If I buy an insurance plan in your state and I buy it with Blue Cross Blue Shield, the average deductible is about $3,000. And Julio, are you married or are you single?
Single.
Okay. So the out-of-pocket maximum now is approaching $9,000, almost $10,000. So if you have a really bad accident, you're going to pay the first $3,000 of that deductible, and then you'll pay a percentage of the rest of that up until that $10,000 max. So if you have a claim that's a $150,000, $200,000 claim because you got in a bad car accident, you're shelling out 10 grand. So now let's circle back to the health sharing. My wife and I in 2018 decided to go on to health sharing, and we're on that plan all the way up till the end of last year.
Okay.
That health sharing plan we qualified for with no problem. Our health insurance plan that we owned through our company from just me and my wife was going up to $2,000 a month.
Wow.
I researched all of the health sharing communities, and by the way, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But there's a few that are in the employer space now that's what I'm excited about. So we bought a plan instead of a $3,000 deductible for $2,000 a month. We paid $344 a month, and this plan was a $500 out-of-pocket maximum in case any illness or injury happened to me or my wife.
Wow.
So that's pretty dramatic, right?
That is.
$1,600 a month different. Now, what happened shortly after that, at the end of 2018, on Christmas Eve night, my wife had to go into the hospital. At 11 o'clock at night, she was in there for 4 hours. She got treated for an infection. I thought it was way worse than I thought it was her heart or something, you know. I got a bill at the end of that, about 6 weeks later, from Fairview Hospital here in Minnesota for $6,750. And I called Fairview and I said, well, I'm just here to settle the bill, but, you know, why is it $6,750?
Right.
And she says, well, what insurance do you have? And believe it or not, they never asked me for my card at the hospital. I said, well, we don't have insurance. We're cash payers under a different system. And she right away does this. Oh, hang on. Let me get to my other system. She gets over to her other system, and within about 5 minutes, she says, I'm going to send out a revised bill for $3,125.
Wow.
So it went from $6,750 to $3,125 in 5 minutes. They sent me that revised bill. I sent it to our health sharing community. We paid $500. They paid the rest. Wow. And that was the only time, the only claim we had from 2018 to the end of 2023, Julio.
Wow. That's impressive, John. And for the sake of time, I would like to hear from you. And I know, like I said, a lot of small businesses in our community. What advice do you have for them, for employers, businesses, companies? You know, how can they reduce their costs, or just any piece of advice that you'd like to close off before we conclude?
Yeah, the cafeteria plan, we provide a free calculator that is, they can basically plug in their own information about their own program. So if you've got a 20-person company and you're in, it doesn't matter, your state, my state, any state, this works in every state in the union, we'll actually do a comparison with what your current plan is and what your coverage is with what the cafeteria plan will provide. And it's usually a reduction in cost between about 40 to 60%. But then after we let everybody get their own coverage, Julio, within your company, only after that does the employer then decide to do the reimbursement. So you might say, hey, we used to do 80% of your costs on my group plan. We're still going to do 80% of the cost on your health insurance plan, but we'll pay all of the costs of the health sharing. So you see where the difference will come into play pretty dramatically. And I've even got a clear path for basically employers that want to be a little more generous to where you can reduce down their premiums to zero, and you can actually provide a zero deductible as well, if that's what you want to do. But we take the cost from here down to here, and with the savings that an employer has, they can put that extra money into paying for those deductibles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Very insightful information. John, I wish we had more time to speak on this important topic, but if anybody wants to learn more or wants to get in touch with you, how can they do so?
The best way is through my website. It's jb-benefits.com. We actually run requests for proposals for companies all over the country, large or small, frankly. This one is I'm focusing on the smaller companies because that's the one I'm most excited about. But yeah, we do our analysis for free, and the only way we get paid is if we save you money.
Awesome. Well, John, thank you so much for joining us today and speaking with us a little bit about, this very complex industry that we mentioned, but you're the expert and you have very insightful information. So I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today.
Well, I'm proud of myself. I didn't swear once.
There you go, John.
Because it's maddening.
Thank you so much again. And if anybody is interested in learning more, you can visit jb-benefits.com with more information. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Next up, we've got a special duo from two of the best voices in the bluegrass and country genres.
We know you're going to love this one from Melanie Cannon and Willie Nelson. Here's Back to Earth.
The songs our love created, I still sing. And every night we make the rafters ring.
Hello, I'm Shervin Razai here with Chenna Garden in Avon, Colorado. My hobbies are obviously skiing. I've been skiing since I was 3 years old. In addition to that, music's always been my first passion, and you can see that alive and well at Chenna Garden with our little record nook, where we have over 300 records, and we'll continue to grow that collection and play vinyl records for you while you enjoy your cuisine. Chenna Garden is Avon's oldest running restaurant. We've been open since 1988 when my mother set up shop and wanted to begin offering Avon, Colorado the best quality Chinese food that we could get. And I started working in the restaurant when I was 8 years old as a dishwasher, making $1 a day. And then one of the servers, pushed by my dad, told me I should ask for a raise, and then I got $5 a day, but then I had to put all $25 at the end of the week into a savings account, which actually helped me out in college. So after college, I went out to New York for law school, and I spent 15 years out in New York City practicing law and working in-house, which exposed me to a lot of restaurants all over the world, all over the country. And after getting exposure like that, I realized that we have this beautiful restaurant here that has so much potential. So in the fall of 2023, we came back, remodeled, and tried to get this back to give that special feel that I've known all my life here. We've been offering a lot of new cuisines, including German cuisine with our good family friend Gunther Schmidt, who's been serving up authentic German cuisine in the Valley for many, many decades. Why not? This is America. We can serve German food in a Chinese restaurant, and we just let it try. And after a year of it, it's been building up some success, and we're just having a lot of fun just seeing the look of bewilderment on every customer when they're like, how am I getting German food in a Chinese restaurant that's this good at this quality? Chenna Garden is really all about that community, and that first starts with the local community. We always try to take care of all of us who are working hard, grinding it, so that we can also enjoy what this valley has to offer. And through that, we get a nice mix of word of mouth, tourists who come in. We're looking for something a little more authentic and that has a history with the valley. I'm a proud member of the Avon Vail Valley community, lifelong member as I was born here, and I hope you come out and see us here at Chenna Garden. We're open every day, 4 to 9, any day the mountain's open. Cheers.
Good morning, Vail.
The GoPro Mountain Games are officially underway, and there's still so many activities to participate in, to go check out in Vail Village, so make sure that you do that. But we had a chance to chat with Kristen Stewart, who is running all of the PR for the incredible GoPro Mountain Games, so let's hear what she has to say. There are so many great things to be to look forward to here at the GoPro Mountain Games, to be looking forward to. And I'm standing here with one of the fabulous press managers of the GoPro Mountain Games, Kristen Stewart. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's a beautiful morning before everything gets a little nutty. Yeah, it's gorgeous out, so get your coffee and come on out.
This is the calm before the storm that's happening right behind us.
It's a good storm, though. It's a good storm. It's packed with people. Today is day 2. We have a lot of events that are going into finals. Also some qualifiers. We have events from Golden Peak all the way to Lion's Head, so we're ready for you.
Which is incredible. That means you can explore all 3 main villages of Vail right now. You can enjoy everything. And so let's kick off in what's going on in Golden Peak.
Yeah, so Golden Peak is what we call the hangout. So there's going to be free things to try for your kids. So there's some stand-up paddleboarding. You can try that out today if you're a kid, some climbing. We also have music starting there at 11:30. We have food trucks. So that's where you want to go to kind of like, if you need to chill from the hub here, it's a great place to go. It's a chill, there's umbrellas and live music. So definitely check that out today. That might be even a good place to start. And then you come over here where you have competitions. You have kayaking today right here at the International Bridge. There's also music. All of our vendors are here. The daily GoPro camera giveaway, so you have to get down here and register for that. The vendors have been amazing. I was out here yesterday and of course needed some sunscreen, so stopped and lathered up as well. So Vail Village is the hub of like activity for seeing events. The climbing starts this morning that you'll want to check out, and the kayaking, like I said, and the vendors are all here as well.
Which is just a ton of fun to come and explore the vendors, because there's such a variety, and there are some companies that you've never heard of before that could totally change your life for the better.
Liquid Death, have you heard of them? Yeah. It's water, y'all, which is something we all need, so it's canned water. I mean, there's some really, really great stuff, and of course GoPro, we have Goodrich, some of our bigger sponsors. You know, we couldn't do this event without them.
Which we're really grateful to have them here, and it just shows how amazing the outdoor enthusiast community is. And then of course we're so lucky to have it here locally in our wonderful hometown of Vail, Colorado. Now let's make our way continuing on to Lion's Head.
Yeah, so Lion's Head is where we secretly all want to be. It is Dogtown. It has become Dogtown for this event. Today at 9:30 they start dog adoptions through the local animal shelter, and then there's dogs and all the kinds of dog competitions. These dogs are also athletes. We have about 75 competing and dozens up for adoption. So that's also a great place if you need some dog time, like I do every day. I'm missing my dogs like crazy. So I would start over there, or I would maybe start there if you want to start with an adoption and move over. Those dogs do go fast. So if you're looking for something like that, come this morning. But yeah, I mean, the great thing about this is the celebration of the things we love about the mountains, all mountain communities: art, culture, music, sports. So if you there goes a dog right now.
I saw that little happy teeter-totter walking away.
So you don't have to be an athlete to be here and enjoy this. There's just the culture all wrapped together is something that everybody should experience at least once.
You know, and the greatest part is we've got international athletes coming to compete here because this is one of their favorite competitions. We've got kayakers coming from all over the world that are here, that are stoked to be here. And you could be standing next to the greatest kayaker in the country or in the world while you're ordering your coffee first thing this morning.
Well, yeah, and that's the crazy thing is like in their normal lives, they may not get recognized from day to day, and they come out here and they're total rock stars. In fact, the collab stage is right here in Solaris, and it's going to host the Mountain Games show, and it'll be between some of our top athletes that'll be here. All that information's on our website, and Michaela Schifrin herself will be here tomorrow around 4 on the collab stage, so you definitely don't want to miss that, and we'll be participating in the games. So it's a who's of outdoor athletes. The other thing that's really fun is the slacklining's right here, and you guys, we have the world champion slackliner here and a previous world champion in an international field. So that stuff is crazy. Like, I can't even walk on the sidewalk. I don't know how people do a slackline like that. So
Well, and then we can never forget, because it's a staple, the slack line over the International Bridge with the kayakers below, the high fives, the connections that are being made here at the GoPro Mountain Games is phenomenal. So if you had to pick one favorite besides the dogs, because the dogs are always the easiest answer, what's your favorite here at the GoPro Mountain Games?
Well, I would say don't pick one. I'm just gonna go there, and maybe non-popular opinion, but just come and spend the day here and go explore the whole thing. There's so much to offer. There's so much that's gonna catch your eye, and it's really a lot of fun. So we look forward to all the people that are coming in town for it. We look forward for locals who can get over here this morning and start kicking things off, and of course we have concerts up and through the night. So go to our website, mountaingames.com. It'll have the full schedule. It'll have the collabs schedule, the music schedule, the dog schedule, all of it. So yeah, check on Thursday or Friday's schedule, and it'll kick you off, and you can check it all off your list.
Well, and then you can just continue to go through the weekend because it doesn't stop. Friday is not the only day of GoPro Mountain Games. There is a jam-packed schedule. You guys make sure that it is so full, it is so entertaining, and it is so enriching in so many different aspects for people to be out here to enjoy it. And then, of course, yeah, the concerts to end the evening is always such a fun place to be, and then it really brings our community together. And what better way to end a night than live music?
Yeah, and the great thing is, especially here, we have our last concert on Sunday night with Dispatch, or Saturday night with Dispatch, but Sunday is one of the most fun days here because we have brunch runs. It's just, we don't want people to think it ends on Saturday night. Definitely come back out on Sunday and enjoy more. And there's food, there's drinks, plus our folks all up and down Main Street. So yeah, it's great. But it's crazy because this started as a grassroots whitewater festival in 2002. And so we're 22 years old, and we've found ways to reinvent it, bring it back. Then this will have the most events we've ever had, the most running events we've ever had, probably the most dogs we've ever had, let's be honest. And so there's so much. We don't rest on this event and say, oh yeah, it's been 20 years, like we know how to do this. We keep pushing the limit on what we can do and who we can involve. And so that's why you have to come back again.
Which is so incredible because a few years ago, rock climbing took off, exploded, people loved to participate in it, and then you guys brought it in as this huge competition, which then brought some of the best athletes in the world here to compete in rock climbing.
Well, the crazy thing, so USA climbing athletes are here, Team USA. We don't have Olympians this year because they're actually on their way to Europe to compete. So definitely some of the Olympic spirit is alive here in Vail at the climbing wall. We have some of the best junior team climbers in the world, some of the best in the U.S. That represent the U.S. all over the world. They're here climbing. So there are more GROM events. We have kids under 18, 12 to 18 that are competing and climbing and everything. So you never know where these kids will end up someday. So we're glad to have them here and help foster that.
This brings up another great point because you guys do an awesome job of incorporating everyone. There's events for beginners. So if you're someone who's just picking up that mountain bike for maybe, the second summer, you can come out and participate in a Morella race, and that way you get the camaraderie of doing it.
Yeah, there's, like I said, the fun runs are for middle-aged ladies like me, so come on, 50-year-olds, go run and have a mimosa with me afterwards. So there's still room to register for events, so go online and check it out. And you can go by category or by day and kind of see what's out there and see if registration is still open. Some have closed, but we still have opportunities to register today. So yeah.
Kristen, thank you so much for spending some time with me, giving us all this great information, and bringing the hype level up.
Yes, and then now I'm going to go get coffee. So then the hype level will go even further up. So it's time for more coffee. So, but yeah, thanks. Come out. It was great to talk to you. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for being here this morning. Make sure that you make your way here to the GoPro Mountain Games that are taking course over this weekend because you're not going to want to miss one of this legendary events. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to bring you another fabulous interview live from the GoPro Mountain Games.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
TV8 te brinda la mejor programación en español todos los días. Sintoniza Conexión Latina los lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 7 de la tarde con repeticiones los fines de semana. Además, te presentamos nuestro nuevo programa Sabores y Creaciones, donde hemos juntado tus recetas y manualidades favoritas en un solo lugar los martes y jueves a las 7 de la tarde. Y por último, disfruta de Daily Flash Latino con noticias y entretenimiento en tendencia los sábados a las 7 de la tarde. Te esperamos por el canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina, nuestro canal de YouTube TV8 Vail Good Morning Vail o nuestra página web tv8vail.com.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
It sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No. Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tvavail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92.
Daily Flash.
I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to
Mitch English and Andrea Jackson have co-hosted together for over a decade. And now, only on Daily Flash, they serve up a fast, fun, fresh perspective on the day's trending news and entertainment. Daily Flash offers the latest in pop news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, wellness, and even some unscripted, irreverent, who knows what's next fun. Daily Flash with Mitch English and Andrea Jackson, trending news and entertainment.
Good morning, Vail.
It is construction season here in our community. We have to fix all of those mountain roads, and a good way to be in the know before you leave your house is to download a fabulous app on your phone that will make it nice and convenient, so that way you're fully prepared for any road delays that could come your way. Well, Claire Noble sat down on the couch and gave us some great information, so let's hear what she has to say.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Joining us on the couch this morning is such a pleasure every time we get to chat. Claire Noble. Claire, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, for inviting me to join you, and I'm really hoping that the mic doesn't pick up my stomach growl after Will's segment.
That was some good-looking cheese, right?
I mean, yeah, Wisconsin, more than just cheddar.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love cheese?
I wasn't expecting ice cream to come out of the gate right away.
Savory.
Talking cheese.
Yeah, with like some feta mixed in. That was amazing.
Yeah, the French in me, I love cheese.
Yeah.
All types of cheese. Can't get enough. But we're going to talk about the county here because you're here with Eagle County. What's going on right now? We're rolling into summer pretty quickly here.
We are, and so there's a few things happening right now. And you know, you look outside right now, it's so green. Flowers really haven't started coming in, but all the trees are leafed out. The grass looks great. And so it may not seem obvious, but we are going into wildfire season. Because, you know, if you look at a hydrology map of the United States, once you get past the Mississippi, it starts to dry out really quick. And so the West, for the most part, except for the Pacific Northwest, we're pretty dry. So we have to be cognizant of that. And so some of the things we'd like to people to be aware of is, first of all, stay informed. We're not trying to hoard information. We want you to know. So sign up for EC Alerts. EC Alerts is a little bit of a lift, right? You have to go to this page, put in some personal information, select different areas of the county you might be interested in. And I hear from a lot of people, I signed up for EC Alerts, but I never get them. And I think it's because they haven't taken those extra steps, because then you have to download the Everbridge app.
Yeah, and you say it's extra steps. I look at it as I get to curate what I see. So
exactly.
It should be a pleasurable experience of what do I want to see through these alerts.
Well, that's a great point. For me, I'm like, everything. Just let me know everything that's going on. But if you're not so picky, if you do want to know everything, we have something that's easier for you, and that's the Reach Well app. And if you go to the App Store, you're going to see it and you're like, is this an emergency notification app? Because it looks like a paper airplane. Right. Because it started as a school notification app based here in Colorado, based on the Front Range, but they've now expanded into emergency communications. I think about 13 Colorado counties have now adopted this app. And what makes it great for our area is Garfield and Pitkin County are also using this app. So if you're one of these folks that travels between here and the Roaring Fork Valley a lot, going through Glenwood Canyon a lot, these are choke points that it's important to know when, so you're not sitting in traffic at Dotsero wondering what's going on. And the other great thing about Reach Well, and really the reason why we adopted it, it's available in more than 130 languages.
Love that, that.
Yeah, and because they're a Colorado-based company, they're super responsive. So we have people who monitor it in different languages. And so if something comes up that's not translated quite right, like gypsum turns out to be drywall or something like that, they let them know right away and they fix the translation.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Very helpful. And those choke points where if you're going to Glenwood or Denver, you don't want to get stuck there. You kind of want to know, and especially in the winter and in the summer with all this construction.
I mean, here's the thing, the reality of where we live, we're in a valley. So there's only a couple of thoroughfares, basically I-70 and Highway 6 to get you up and down that valley. And when there's a problem at one, or several months ago we had a problem at both, it cuts off both ends of the valley. And that's pretty scary.
Yeah, that can be challenging.
Yeah.
And then with wildfire season coming around, I mean, every summer we're gearing up. And what can people do? What should people be kind of on the lookout for and prepare for?
Thanks for asking about that. I will say this, right now, the prediction for this summer, because we're transitioning from El Nino to El Niña, and it's an ENSO neutral period of time where they're anticipating that we could experience slightly warmer or warmer than average temperatures and a little less precipitation.
Sounds dry.
Yeah, there's a concern that we're going to have a weak monsoon. I feel like last summer they got it wrong. June ended up being a pretty wet month, but it's, this is the way it could go down. So what can you do? And in addition to being like aware through emergency alerts, you need to create some defensible space around your house. And all you need to do is drive around any of the neighborhoods up here and you'll see people with trees right up against the house, branches going across the house. I'm no expert, but we do have experts. realfire.net. If you go to realfire.net, you can sign up for a free assessment. They'll send a specialist to your house. I've had it done, and they will walk around, and they have eagle eyes because what they're looking for is what makes this house vulnerable to fire. And it can make a real difference. The Lahaina fire, there were houses, and one in particular that survived. Everything around it was burnt, because they had created defensible space around their house.
Yeah, it's proof right there that it works. And then for, if you're not a homeowner, for me, it's stuff like, put your campfire out.
Yeah.
Make sure your campfire's out. Don't
Yeah.
throw cigarette butts out the windows. It's little things like
I
that.
saw a CDOT sign about the cigarette butts, but a bigger problem are actually people towing things or with pickup trucks who have chains.
Yeah.
The chains kick off, and I've driven past a truck that was dragging chains and kicking off sparks. Now it was the middle of the winter, so I was like, okay, this is probably not a problem right now, but in the middle of June, this is a real problem. Because if you see a fire that started next to a roadway, that's probably the cause. And a lot of our fires, the majority are human caused.
Oh yeah. And a lot of them happen in kitchens, right? So if you're living in an apartment building, I like to have my stuff pretty compact if I do have to get out of there. And
well, that's another great point. If you really should have a go packed.
Yeah.
You should have something where either you have physical copies or on a removable drive your important paperwork. If you have pets, you should have some pet food ready to go. If there are medications you really need to take every day, you should have those ready to go. Water is something, I don't know about you, but I've been stuck on Vail Pass before. Luckily for me, it was only about an hour, but sometimes people get stuck up there for a few hours.
Definitely.
And you're going to want some snacks in the car, you're going to want some water in the car.
Definitely. I know it's a tough topic, but we roll into this, and it's a serious thing every summer, and people need to be aware, so thank you for
I think
talking.
our message is we want people to empower themselves. And we do, if you go to the eaglecounty.us website, go to emergency management, you're going to see we have a ton of plans for different situations that might occur in our valley. So we have people thinking about it. I had a meeting yesterday with our emergency manager and our community partners. So it wasn't just government folks, there were folks there from Vail Health, there were folks there from partner volunteer organizations, all ready in the event that they're needed.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you guys for all the work that's going on at the county, and definitely get the apps and check out the website. There's information out there, so be in the know, especially this time of year. It's coming quick. Summer's here.
Thanks for letting me share this message.
I love it. Thanks so much, Claire. And to our viewers, stay tuned for more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome to Street Magic. I'm Elizabeth Stanton with some of the most terrifying stunts, extraordinary extreme escapes, and the most amazing cutting-edge magicians you'll ever see in one show. Get ready to have your mind turned inside out. The hand is definitely quicker than the eye.
It's fake! It's fake!
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh! If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunity to points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point of this competition.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Woo. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Good morning, Vail.
It's always important to know exactly how you could find that perfect job or that perfect candidate for a position that you have available within your company. Well, the recruiter guy, Bill Humbert, always has the best tips and tricks, and I had a chance to catch up with him and see what we should be doing to make sure that we have the perfect candidate or we find the perfect job. So let's hear what he has to say. A lot of companies don't know that they're making mistakes as they're going through the hiring process. Well, we've got the recruiter guy, the expert in the area, Bill Humbert, joining me. Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me this morning.
Oh, Maddie, it's such a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on your show.
Oh, we love having you here because I feel like I get to talk to you and then everyone gets to listen to what you have to say. And I learn so much from these conversations. So the wisdom that you're spreading upon the world is wonderful.
Super, thank you.
Of course. Now, we're going to talk about why hiring manager training is so important. So why is this training so important?
You know, over my 40 plus years as a talent attraction consultant, what I've discovered is very few managers have received formal interview training to learn how to effectively interview.
Now, as they're interviewing, why is it important for them to know how to correctly conduct an interview?
Well, first of all, think about this. If you haven't been taught how to effectively interview, you certainly haven't been taught how to select the best qualified candidate. And secondly, sometimes managers have no clue what questions are illegal and which ones are legal. For instance, I had a manager who had newly moved from another country interview a woman candidate. This was some time ago. And the woman, when I extended an offer to her, told me some of the questions he asked. And essentially, he went down the litany, step by step by step. Are you pregnant? Are you planning on getting pregnant? How are you going to take care of the kid? I mean, he asked all the wrong questions. And I went to him and I said, you know, all these questions that you asked, you cannot ask them in the United States. And he said, well, in my country, we're supposed to ask them. So, you know, it's really important that companies step up and have their managers learn how to effectively interview.
And what's something that's really important for managers to remember as they're going through the interviewing process?
You know, Maddie, what I've seen is some managers understand that building that relationship with the candidate, whether they end up hiring them or not, is very important. I had one manager say, or one candidate called, when I called them for their offer, I didn't know she liked me. I just went, oh my gosh. So it's important that they build a relationship, a positive relationship with the candidate, and that helps the candidate decide if they want to work with them.
Which is really important because this is a career, so you're making the move to take the job. You want to make sure that you like who you're working for, or else you're not going to even like showing up to work. Now, what are some great tips and tricks that people can find on your website as they're building their interviewing questions to find the best candidate?
Well, there are 8 different ways that I can structure interview questions. And, you know, most candidates today are aware of how to respond to behavioral questions. So it's really important to mix and match and put in the questions that kind of gets them off step, off comfort, and makes them think a little bit more, and you'll get better answers that way.
Now, these are great resources that are found on your website where people can see these 8 fantastic prompts, guidelines, steps to really make sure that they're doing the best interview.
That's correct. Recruiterguide.com, that's where they'll find them.
And now, how should a manager end an interview?
Maddie, this is very important. If the manager loves this person, and let's say the person networked their way in through somebody the manager trusts, making an offer that day is so important, because good candidates have a very short shelf life. And if you wait a week, you're probably going to lose them. And I'm speaking from 40 plus years of recruiting experience. I've seen it happen so many times, it made me cry because, well, back in the early days, I got a fee for each person who started. So it's important that the manager, if they really like that person, they get that offer out as soon as possible.
Now, if a company is worried about how their manager is conducting an interview, what's a good resource for them to get in contact with you so maybe they can go through a training session with you?
The best way is just go to recruiterguide.com, and on my home page above the fold, there's a red banner and it says Speak with Bill. Click on that, put yourself on my calendar at your convenience.
And companies can use you as a resource to help train their managers, and then maybe people can use you as a resource to help find that perfect job.
Oh, absolutely. You know, some people call me the candidate whisperer since I've worked with so many candidates over the years.
Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and thanks for sharing your wisdom. It's important that people know how they can best hire the best candidate.
Thank you, Maddie. It's been great.
Make sure that if you're a company who's maybe struggling to find that perfect candidate, that you have your hiring managers go through this training. That way they have the best knowledge possible as they're about to bring on your new team members. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Join us on the famous Leadville Railroad. This historic train ride takes you on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for an afternoon of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Our scenic train rides are a perfect place to bring families closer together while immersing them in the natural beauty and rich history of this picturesque region. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Make memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets available at LeadvilleRailroad.com.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
I'm Raisa Pascal.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work for some good deals, too good to miss on Flash Deals. Now check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Good morning, Vail.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to your Saturday edition of Good Morning Vail. We love getting to be here to bring you great community information like that great app you can get on your phone, or all of the fun information of what's going on over at the GoPro Mountain Games. Now, we're launching a new Spanish news block that's going to take place right after this, but stay tuned because after that, we've got the chat box.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live